All right, good morning. Welcome to my stream. So what we're going to do today, let's switch over. There we go. Is to work on, let me just set up my watch code here. Is to work some more on this editor. Of course, I messed up my watch, so I am all out of sorts, but let me fix this now. Okay. 1 second. Sorry about this. There we go on that, and there we go on that. Okay. All right, I'm up. All right, so where we left off last time was working on this editor. We got as far as if I say cargo run. It actually figures out the size of the screen and then puts tildes on each line of the screen. And then Control Q will quit. Any other key gets ignored. I can type anything. I'm typing a bunch of stuff and it's being ignored, which is good. And then Control Q. There you go. So just before I finished the stream, I call this cleanup. I refactored this into a separate file called editor. And after I was done with the stream, I decided I didn't like that. So I'm going to refactor this a second time. What I want to do is make the editor itself just the editor part, just the business logic, if you will, and then have a separate struct for the screen and a separate struct for the keyboard. A process key press would be to stay in editor. New would, okay, so I'm going to spend just a few minutes at the beginning here just refactoring this. I'm going to say post struct because I'm going to move it screen get rid of debug, and then this will have the width and height, and it's also going to have standard out, like that. And then the editor will create a new screen. So let's say impulse screen, pubfun new, and that will get standard out. So out is standard out, like that. And then add an editor new, would be result self, self, and the editor will have, oops, that's a struct. This will have the screen. So if you screen new, like that. And there, I'll add the other things in there. Impl, editor, like that. Okay, so that just refactored that out. Let's see if this builds. Of course it doesn't. Expected stream pen. Question mark. And this gets an OK. Height. Okay, so now draw rows goes in screen. So let's put that up and draw in screen. And then instead of taking a standard out, we do need mut self, and then this just becomes self standard out, right? Self height, self standard out, and then we got that. So that's draw rows, and now draw rows, where we call it, is going to be self screen draw rows. Okay, that's the only two places. All right, refactor that. Didn't like that. Oh, I'm supplying standard out now, and I shouldn't be. And I can't debug it out. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that part. And what doesn't this like? Oh, this needs to be mutable now. Yep, refresh screen needs to be mutable. Ah. Okay, so now, yes, we'll have to change this main loop actually. This main loop should be in the editor. So this should be editor dot, oops, editor dot start. It's called start. And then all of this goes into the editor. So process key press, and this becomes pubfun start, mod self, results, guess this. Shift that over, go like that, and that becomes start. And it doesn't like that. Oh, the self refresh screen. Oh, self screen refresh. Self, yeah, so we're going to change that in a second. Editor, so self die. And this is the result, so this needs an OK, so we can do that. This has to be mutable. All right, so that's refactored. There's 3 warnings, but we'll clean those up as soon as we get everything refactored. All right, so screen has draw rows. Process key press belongs in the editor. Start belongs in the editor. Clear screen belongs in the screen. And I won't call it clear screen, I'll just call it clear. Because it's already in screen. We don't call it anymore? Oh, clear screen. So this would be screen clear. Like that. Doesn't like that. Oh, because of this. And this. And this has to be mutable. Help try changing this to, oh, die has to take a mutable reference to self in order to clear the screen. That's unfortunate. I wonder if we should make screen ref self so we don't have to worry about that. Because yeah, so read key then needs a mutable reference to self because it's calling die. Although we're going to move read key, right? I want to create a keyboard struct. Let's do that. Let's do that now while we're here. Pub struct keyboard. I don't think it takes anything just yet. Maybe we're going to save the last key press. I don't know. Simple keyboard, and it'll take read key. I mean, it'll implement read key. Where's read key? Here. So that goes here. And this should not it just should not call die. This should return an error. Say error, and then we'll need an error enum. Pub enum editor error result. Key read fail. Let's go with that. Editor result key read fail. I wonder if I can do that with this result type here. It might require the IO. Yeah, mismatch types because it needs expect thing found enum result. Oh, return. And then now yes, it expected struct IO error found enum error result. Okay. So, and that's because I'm using the result type that's crossterm is doing. How do we get around this problem? Because this result here is shadowing. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Error kind is just IO error. And there's no... I guess I could just make it a standard result, right? Type standard result is equal to standard, what was it? Standard result. Can I do that? And then with the keyboard, let's see if this works. It doesn't like that. Missing generics. But. Do I have to do this here? I don't know how to do this. It doesn't like that. Oh, and now key event or editor result. Okay. And now editor needs a keyboard. It's taking longer than I thought it would. And then keyboard is just be self keyboard. And then we can just say read. So we know it's a key. Doesn't like that because I forgot to put it up here. And then after I do all this, now we have 6 warnings. Okay, let's clean up the warnings now. And then after we're done cleaning up the warnings, then we can refactor these into separate files. Terminals unused in main, right? So actually, let's move these into separate files now before we lose all of our imports. Copy editor to keyboard, and copy editor to screen, and then in keyboard we don't need Oh, editor result should probably go in some sort of a global lib thing, right? And then so screen goes away. This is keyboard. Screen goes away. And then all this goes away. So that's all for keyboard, and it just needs read and probably event star, right? Don't think it needs any of this. Let's find out. Let's go into editor. Oh, we have to go into main first, into mod keyboard, and then go into editor and pull keyboard out of here. And then say use create keyboard stop. Okay, so that all checks. And now I want to move the screen out of here. So use create screen star. Like that. Okay. And then this fails because we don't have screen, mod screen, and then we go into mod screen and delete everything that's not screen related. So that, and that. Okay. That's a little bit better. And then of course we have a million unused things. Right? So let's do a quick cargo check and clean those all up. So in main, don't need terminal. That's 13 warnings in keyboard. We don't need key code. Oh. And key modifiers. Right. And then in screen, we don't need this whole line. And Erno. In editor, what do we not need? We don't need read or event. We also don't need print. We don't need standard out. Guess we still need those two guys. All right. And the keyboard loop, only any code following this expression is unreachable. And it says unreachable is an unreachable statement. Okay. So that's in keyboard. Oh, let's see. Does this? Yeah, we're down to 7 now. Okay. I'll just take that out. Oh, right. Yes. So this standard out is gone. Which probably means we can get rid of those. Nope. Self screen. Oh. Yeah, how do we handle the flush? The draw rows should already have a flush in there, right? And it doesn't. We can just do that. And then in here, oops, we don't need that anymore. We don't need these two lines. Okay, down to 5 warnings. We're never using width, but we will eventually. And then editor result, enum is never used. So self keyboard read should be event. Oh, if we fail to read the error. Yeah, so if it's an error of anything, then we're going to die. Right? Self die, unable to read from keyboard. Okay, so that should use, oops, why isn't it like that? Oh, it doesn't know that die never returns. Even though it calls standard process exit, I guess we'll just false. Capar self is mutable. Oh, this has to be mutable because self screen is mutable, which means process key press has to be, well, it's going to have to be mutable anyway. All right, so we still have 5 warnings. Editor no longer needs cursor or queuable command. And I'm not worried about the width. And then standard result is over in the other file. And the editor result is still not used, but I use it right here. Okay, so what is it? Source? Can I go source lib and put the editor result here? Or a standard result? Like that? Use create star. Oh, I guess I can't do it that way. How do I get access to, oh, do I? No, I don't have to put lib in here, do I? Just trying to think about, so if I put, I thought, oh, right. If I put that in here, I thought I could get it out of the crate. And this is saying type alias exists with a similar, and this is from the wrong thing. So in source keyboard, I put this, and that doesn't seem to be doing the trick. It's only complaining about standard result, not editor result, which means this. I mean, it must be seeing it, or maybe it hasn't gotten that far in the compilation process. Let me rename it. Just something that's obviously not a result. It's something dumb. And it just says not found in the scope. And it doesn't tell me which scope it can be found in. Editor result it's finding though. Oh, pub. I bet you that was it. I have to use kilo ed? Really? Okay. I mean, if that's what they want, that's what they want. And then let's rename it back to editor result. I'll call this result code. Like that. And then go over here and change this to editor result. And this will be result code. There, okay. And then we're not using width or editor result. I guess we could use editor result in the editor itself. There it is. Result code key read fail, and that'll use that. Oops, and now I have to import here, use kilo ed. I'm confused why I can't just use crate here. If I use crate, it won't work. But if I use kilo ed, then it does. But we're still seeing an error saying it's not, enum was never used. Oh. Oh, this enum was never used. Yes, okay. All right. I was mistaken. Okay, so all we have left is the width in screen. Okay, so that was a refactoring. How long did that take? 25 minutes. All right. Let's go with Clippy. Yeah, that's the only problem. Okay, that I can live with. Git add dot. Git add source. Status. Git commit. Refactor into separate files. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. And now we can dive in. All right, so we did this. We did this, right? We have enable editor. We have screen roll screen. So I kind of did all this already, right? We're saving the window size. So the next thing to do, window size the hard way. iOctal isn't guaranteed to be able to request window size on all systems, so we're going to provide a fallback method of getting the window size. The strategy is to position the cursor at the bottom right of the screen and use escape sequences that let us query the position of the cursor. How do you move it to the bottom right without knowing how big the screen? That tells us how many rows and columns there must be on screen. Let's start by moving the cursor to the bottom right. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, that probably would work, right? We're saying 1,000 rows and 1,000 columns. What if you have a really big screen and a really tiny font? Then that won't work. But I'm not going to worry about any of this because crossterm is doing all the work for me. As you might have gathered from the code, there's no simple move the cursor to the bottom right corner command. We're sending two escape sequences, one after the other. The C command moves the cursor to the right, and the B command moves the cursor down. The argument says how much to move right or down by. We use a very large value, which should ensure that the cursor reaches the right and bottom edge of the screen. You could actually test this better, right? By saying, okay, move down 1,000 lines, query the position, move down another 1,000 lines, and then query the position again, and if it hasn't changed, then you know you found the bottom. So you could just do it in a loop. I think that would be a better way to do it, and you can do the same thing with move to the right. Although move to the right, as long as it doesn't wrap. The reason we don't use this command, the H command, the documentation doesn't specify what happens when you try to move the cursor off screen. So I guess with this command, right, this is move the cursor forward, won't wrap, but this is undocumented. So what does the documentation say? So CUF sequence moves the active position to the right. The distance moved is determined by the parameter. Parameter value of 0 or 1 moves the active position 1 to the right. Parameter value of n moves the active position n to the right. If an attempt to move the cursor right of the right margin, the cursor stops at the right margin. Right. So that's why that's actually useful. The C and B commands are specifically documented to stop the cursor movement. So yeah, so I think the smarter way would do it would be to go 1,000 and check, 1,000 and check. And then once it stops moving, then we're good. Note that we're sticking a 1 OR at the front of our if condition temporarily so that we can test this fallback branch we are developing. Because we are always returning -1 from get window size, we make a call to editor read key so we can observe the results of our escape sequence before the program calls die and clears the screen. When you run the program, you should see the cursor position at the bottom right corner of the screen. And then when you press the key, you'll see the error message printed by die after it clears the screen. All right, again, we're not going to do any of that. Next, we need to get the cursor position. The N command can be used to query the terminal for status information. We want to give an argument of 6 to ask for the cursor position, and then we can read the reply from the standard input. Let's print out each character from standard input and see what the response looks like. All right, so crossterm must have a query. Where's my crossterm? Do I have a crossterm? Yeah. Query. Cursor. Oops. How do you get the position? Save position. There's a command that saves. Oh, here we go. So we just call cross-term cursor position. And does that send read position raw? Yeah. So this is the escape open bracket 6n, which is exactly what we're talking about here. Escape open bracket 6n. So I guess we can add that to here. And then we're just returning the rows and cols. So we can return that as a tuple. What are we doing? Oh, we were doing U16 for the location of the cursor, or the screen size, so we can do that for the location of the cursor, and then we can just say self standard out. Oh, no, it's terminal, right? We have to use the terminal command. Oops. Where did I have it? I've lost it already. Here we go. Cross-term cursor position. And we have cursor in here already. So this would be cross-term. So this does not need to be mutable. Good. Cross-term. Can I just say cursor? Where am I using that? Elsewhere. Oh yeah, okay. Cursor position. Okay, and that's U16, U16. So it's already like that. And now where do we need to use it? In here. Get window size, return and get cursor position. Okay, so this is returning. Reply is an escape sequence, right? So we actually have to read and decode the escape sequence, which we're not doing yet, but we will. Well, we'll get to that in this documentation here. 2480 or similar, escape sequence is documented as a cursor position report. As before, we've inserted a temporary call to editor read key to let us observe our debug output before the screen gets cleared on exit. We're going to have to parse this response, right? So we don't, cross-term does all of this for us. So this is just saying read a byte until you can't read anymore. If you hit the R, then you're done. And I guess we're just sticking in this buff and we're hoping that 32 bytes is enough. And then we can print it out, but then we have to decode it, right? And print out the buffer. We don't want to print the escape character. Right, so we skip over that. That's why we're skipping to buffer 1. Right, there's the null termination right there. That's what they're talking about here. Printf expects the string to end with a 0 byte. If you run the program, you can see that we have a response in buff in the form of escape open bracket 24 semicolon 80. So let's parse two numbers out of there using scanf. So scanf will decode those into rows and cols. Scanf comes from standard IO. Yep, we know all that. Our fallback method for getting the window size is now complete. You should see that editor draw rows prints the correct number of tildes for the height of your terminal. Now we know that that works. Let's remove the 1 we put in the if condition. All right. So we have we get the window size right at the beginning here. So I'm not worried about any of all of that. Although putting the cursor position was useful. The last line. Maybe you notice the last line of the screen doesn't seem to have a tilde. That's because of a small bug in our code. Wait, is that true? No, it does. Oh, I left the cursor down there now. Control Q. I must have broken something in my refactor. I didn't try the refactor. I just made sure it compiled. Source editor. After Control Q. Oh, that's right. After refresh screen, that's when we're supposed to move the cursor back up. And I guess I forgot to do that. Draw rows, and then... Oh, yeah, so I don't put a new line here. That's the thing, is they have this... this. So I did it slightly differently, right? I did a move to 0 row, and then printed a tilde. And I'm starting to think that these flushes need to be moved elsewhere. There should be like just before we do get input, we do a flush. Right? We want to do all the work up front. Like that. Trying to extend it out. Like that? Yeah, and then just before we read the key in the editor, refresh screen, and then just before here, we want to say screen self, screen flush. And then in our screen, we'll have a flush. Like that, and just say self-standard out flush. Yeah, so that way we can queue all the commands and then redraw them all at once just before we grab the key. Or just before we call read. All right. Oh, this should have a question mark here, right? I'm surprised it didn't complain. Oh, it did. It went from 4 to 3. Okay. So we're not worried about the last line, because when we draw the last line, actually, do I want to do a move to after I draw the rows? Like that. Like that. Yeah. And now if I say cargo run, yeah, now it's up here. And notice we are drawing the last line here. The reason they skipped the last line is because they have a new line character at the end, which we're not doing. So what they do here is for screen rows is they print a tilde, and if it's less than screen rows -1, then they put in the new line. Otherwise, they just leave it without the new line. It's not a good idea to make a whole bunch of small writes every time we refresh the screen. It would be better to do one big write to make sure the whole screen updates at once. Otherwise, there could be small, unpredictable pauses between writes, which would cause an annoying flicker effect. We want to replace all our write calls with code that appends the string to the buffer, and then write this buffer at the end. Okay, so that's what we're doing with, if I go into screen here, that's what we're doing here, is we're just queuing the commands. And then when we do flush is when we write them all out at once. And the way they're doing it here is they're just creating a buffer to put all the commands into. And we don't have to worry about this because there's allocation free. And then we edit or draw rows. We do it all at once from the buffer. Sorry, we append it to the buffer, and then the buffer just gets written out to standard out in one swell foop. Oh, Kafka, hi, and programmer, hello. Sorry I missed you. All right, so, right, in editor refresh screen, we first initialize a new abuff called AB by assigning abuff init to it. Replace each cursor with white with an AB append, and then we append it. Hide the cursor when repainting. Okay, so this is also something we don't have to worry about, I don't think, because I think crossterm handles that for us. But there should be cross-term commands to hide, right? Hide. Cursor hide and cursor show. Yeah. And show. Yeah. So we can do it with that if we need to. All right. And then clear lines one at a time. Instead of clearing the entire screen before each refresh, it seems more optimal to clear each line as we redraw them. Okay. So, again, I think... I don't think we want to do that here because we're just queuing the commands. So that would just make more commands to queue. So that's what this is doing here, right? This says, okay, clear the line. Or clear to the end of the line. Ah, right. That's what K does. It must be, yeah, erase inline. Erases part of the current line. This argument is analogous to J's command argument. 2 erases the whole line, 1 erases part of the line to the left of the cursor, and 0 erases part of the line to the right of the cursor. 0 is the default argument, and that's what we want, so we leave out the argument and just use escape K. Yeah, so if we clear the whole screen before we draw all the rows, I think that's the approach we'll take for now. We'll see if it's too slow and we can fix it. I don't know. Welcome message. So that means no changes for me. It's the bottom line. Perhaps it's time to display a welcome message. Let's display the name of our editor and a version number a third of the way down the screen. Editor draw rows. Okay, so this is we're just sticking some text in the buffer that we have. But this is the output buffer. This is not the text editor buffer. We haven't even gotten to the text editor buffer yet. And I guess we're just sticking it in there and not worrying about we're not worrying about being fancy about it. Okay, so is there a way in cargo? Because cargo, we have this version and this name. Can I get the version from the cargo thing? Rust read cargo version. I can Rust program access its cargo. Oh, okay. Version. Okay, so we just do this. That was easy. Okay, so let's pull that out. Do I have to make it const? And then we can just say here, if row is equal to self height divided by 3, we can make this welcome message. Welcome line is greater than screen columns, and the welcome line is the screen calls. Oh, I see. So we're just cutting off the edge of it. Okay, so I can just say this. Let welcome equals format bang kilo editor version like that, right? And then I can say if welcome len is greater than self width, and now we're going to actually use width. That's good. How do you truncate a string? Is it just string truncate? Rust truncate string. Yeah. If new len is greater than the string's current length, it has no effect. Okay, so we can just do it blindly. We don't even have to do it. We can just say welcome dot truncate self width. So if it's bigger, we don't care. If it's smaller, it isn't. And then we'll just say self standard out. Cursor move to 0, question mark, Q, print. Oop, I forgot the Q here. Welcome. Else. This thing. All right. What did I do wrong? This. I'm missing that. Oh, expected use size found U16. We can just as use size it. No problem. And didn't like this. Oh. This needs a question mark semicolon. There we go. We're down to 2 warnings. Oh, we're not using cursor position. Okay. I can live with that. Cargo run. Look at that. There it is. And I got the version string. Hot diggity dog. Okay, and that was step 41. Oh, Control Q to get out. Git add source. Git commit -m. Up to step 41. Printing the welcome message. Look at that. Okay, so now let's center. Ah, that has to be a separate step. So what we're going to do is, how do we center strings? Padding. We don't need padding, right? Oh, I see. They're putting a tilde there at the beginning. And then appending a bunch of spaces until we get the thing. And we can say if welcome.len. Mana, thank you. Thank you for the follow. Is less than screen self width. Then we're going to grab the half of it and subtract half the width, right? So let's start, or leftmost is equal to welcome len divided by 2, right? Answer self width. Oh, I see. They have it right here. Minus welcome len divided by 2. Okay, so that gives us the. I was trying to do it in my head, and I should have just looked here. So this is the leftmost position. We can say if leftmost is greater than 0. Phosphorus says, what's your opinion on Rust and where do you see its future? It seems really valuable to know. I really enjoy playing with Rust. I don't have... so I've been using Rust now for a couple of years, but I'm still very much a beginner because I don't use it as my day job. I just use it for streaming. So I just get a little bit of Rust experience whenever I stream, and that's about it. But so I'm pushing my boundaries on Rust learning. I find it a fun language to program in. As far as the future, I can't do that. I can't predict the future on Rust. I do know there's a very big ecosystem around it, and there's a very vibrant community around it. So for now, it seems like a fun place to be, and it does seem like it has a decent future. And like I said in the last stream, there's this Oxide Computer Company wrote a whole operating system in Rust. It's an embedded operating system, but it's an operating system nevertheless, and they seem to be doing pretty well. So I'm going to keep using it, even if it doesn't become as popular as, say, C++ or JavaScript or whatever, because I enjoy it more than those languages. Spyrov says, have you also heard about Redux OS? Is that another Rust OS? Spyrov? If leftmost is greater than 0, then it will self-standard out. Oh, Bosphorus, thank you for the follow. Cursor, move to 0 row, right? And then we're going to print the tilde, right? We're going to print the tilde at the beginning of the row here. To string. And then Spyro says, is kernel written in Rust by Jeremy Soller? Lead engineer at System 76. Oh, I don't know him. I probably should. I've heard of System 76 before, but all right. I'm willing to click on a random link that somebody sent me in chat. I like the symbol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is that? Boron? Nope. It is oxygen. Oh, redox. Duh, oxygen. I should have been able to figure that out without having to look it up. It's a Unix-like operating system in Rust. Okay. This sounds like something I would like to look at. Not on stream though. But thank you. Thank you, Spyrov. Alright, so qprint, and then we're not going to do the flush. So we'll do that. Oh, I did want one more thing, right? Q cursor move to, nope, I did that wrong. Move to leftmost row, question mark, and then Q print welcome, question mark, semicolon. Else, we're not going to do this, the tilde, but we'll do everything else. By everything else, I mean the print. Oops, I messed something up, didn't I? Because this is not formatting correctly. Where did I mess it up? Out there? Out there? That looks all okay. Well, I guess we'll ask Russ to tell me where I messed up. Yes, so closing delimiter. Oh, this one here. That needs 3. Okay. There we go. I still messed it up. Oh, this one needs 3 because of the 2 string. Duh. King, hello. One Punch Man versus Johnny Sins. I've seen One Punch Man. I have not watched Johnny Sins. So I can't express an opinion on that one, I'm afraid. Oh, right. Self width as U size. Self width as U size. Leftmost needs to be as U16. There we go. And then welcome got blown away for some reason. Oh, it got moved? Where did it get moved to? On 34. Oh, this is else. Oh, wait a minute. If welcome len is less than this, then we do this. Oh, okay. You know what? I went a little too... I'm not going to Google Johnny Sins on stream. Sorry, King. I do have a person in my life who recommends different anime, and we're in the middle of Dragon Slayer right now. Demon Slayer, sorry. So I will ask about Johnny Sins and see if that's worth watching. So, if welcome len is less than the width, then we know that leftmost should be bigger than, so we shouldn't even have to check this. Right? Otherwise, we just print it out from the beginning. as truncated. We don't need to do that, and we don't have to worry about borrow checking. Okay, and I think this is still the cursor position warning. All right, so let's see if that centered it. Cargo run. Look at that, it's centered. Awesome. So that was step 42, centering the welcome message. Control Q, get status, get edit source, get commit mission, step 42, center the welcome message. Very key important thing about learning how to make an editor. Kafka says Johnny Sins is a porn actor. Yeah, I'm glad I did not Google that. Thanks, King. Tried to get me. Our programmer says Demon Slayer not bad. Yeah, so we just finished the Mugen Train. I watched the movie version of it instead of the individual episodes, and now we're in the middle of the entertainment district. So it's kind of fun. Although demon slaying has kind of tapered off. The actual slaying of demons has kind of tapered off in the current season that I'm watching. Center a string, you have to divide the width by 2, right? Okay, so we know how to center strings. Let's focus on input now. Yay, okay. Let's we want the user to be able to move the cursor around. The first step is to keep track of the cursor's X and Y position in the global editor state. So this is now the editor needs to keep track of cursor X. Should we have it as separate things? Or should we make like a cursor type that has an XY coordinate? What's my favorite anime? I don't know. Does Miyazaki count as anime? They're not like episodic TV shows. They're films instead. But if Miyazaki counts, then Spirited Away is my favorite. Kafka says it should be a tuple or a struct. Yeah, I'm thinking the same, right? I mean, they've got it as separate variables here. But yeah, let's call it let's do struct position row call and just have cursor be position. And then when we initialize, we just initialize it to 0, 0. Can I do default? I'm going to see. Let's find out. Dang. Oh, remove the comma. Tree pound. Oh, editor needs a default if I do that. Okay. But I can do cursor position 0, 0. I'm going to try this. Yay, okay. Now we have 5 warnings. That's because we're not using it. Yeah, Kafka says editor needs default. I don't want to have a default screen and a default keyboard, though. So that's too bad. Oh, I guess I could. This is fine. This is fine. I don't want to get into the weeds here. So if the window size, oh, this is the old code, right? If we couldn't get the window size, then we die. ECX is the horizontal coordinate of the cursor, and ECY is the vertical coordinate, the row. Will it confuse me then if I don't use X and Y? Because they're going to be using X and Y throughout this thing. So let me just use X and Y. Now let's add code to editor refresh screen to move the cursor to the position stored in EX and EY. Okay. Refresh screen, draw rows. And now we're going to say move cursor to, and we got to see how to do that. Cursor. It's going to be in cursor somewhere, right? Move to. Oh, right. It's a question mark, semicolon, and then I can do cursor, right? I wonder if I should pass it in here. because draw rows draws the whole screen, right? And then we want to have it end with the current position. Because the reason I'm hesitating is because I actually want all of the screen editing or screen related stuff to be in screen. So if I say screen, there's cursor position, I should say pub fun move to self. Oh, it doesn't result in anything. Oh, it does result, right? Because we could end up with a failure on these Q commands. Right, and then so it's going to be move to, and then this will be pause position, which means I'll have to lift that out. Yeah, so this is column row. Pause X and pause Y. Which means I don't need the question mark there, right? I do need to make position something that's in lib. Oh, that's the license, lib. Put that there, and make that pub, and make that pub, and make that pub. Oops. There. 3 errors. What's this one? Position not found, so we need to add that here. Use kilo, add star. Self standard out. Oh, this has to be mutable. Oh, okay. I guess we just put a question mark, semicolon, okay. I don't want to return back standard out. And then refresh screen, we can do that. Yeah, okay. And then just before we read the keyboard, this is where we'll do self.screen. Oh, what did I call it? Move to self position. I don't want to pass the whole thing. I just want to do that. Question mark. Oh, I can't do question mark because that's going to be oh, I can just call it cursor. So cursor, that means we need to check this error code business. So where's process key press get called? Right here. So this can question mark itself up, right? So we can do a result bool here. And then I have to do an OK here. And then this is OK. False. Oh. OK, true. OK, true. And OK, false. That's kind of awkward. Still mismatched types? Expected nothing? Oh, that's why. That was dumb. Okay, there we are. So now we can move the cursor to 0, 0. I think we were already doing that, so I need to make sure I take that out of the screen code, right? Yeah, right here, this line. Let's delete that line. And so now if I say cargo run, it should do exactly the same thing as before. Oh, and it didn't. It did not move the cursor. It's down there. Okay. Oh, because I didn't flush. Oh, okay. Refresh screen, move the cursor, flush, and then process key press. All right, let's try again. There we go. Okay, so that was step 44. Refactoring the cursor reposition. Move cursor position into editor struct. There we go. Step 45. Ooh, now we have ADWS. These are the movement keys, ADWS. Okay. At this point, you could try initializing ECX to 10 or something, or insert EC++ into the main loop to confirm that the code works as intended so far. Yeah, we could do that. Position X is 10, Y is 12, I guess. Let's do that for temporarily. Cargo run, and the cursor ends up over there, so that's working. Control Q, foreground, undo, undo. Save. Okay. Now we'll allow the user to move the cursor using WASD keys. If you're unfamiliar with these keys as arrow keys, W is up, S is down, A is left, and D is right. Okay. We do want to check, right? We want to do some bounds checking on here. We don't want to just make these numbers go negative, because Rust will complain if this goes negative. All right, so editor move cursor. So I'm going to add that in, actually, so we don't end up panicking. So let's say fun move cursor itself. It doesn't return anything. Oh, it does take in the key code, though. Match key. A means self dot sat. Cursor dot x dot saturating. Is that how you spell it? Sub 1. ASDF or ADWS. So D is not worried about that side. Although we do need to check the width, right? The screen width, and don't go beyond that. W is Y, and Y plus equals 1. So then in process key press, we're going to actually call that. Oh, okay, yeah, we did. How do I strip out the OK business? If let, oh no. Yeah, if let OK see this. Nope. And we can match C on this stuff here, right? Else. Right? And that way we don't have to worry about that. I do want to strip out everything else, right? So I want to say maybe here. Oh, what did I just do? I did some folding thing. And somehow I got out of the folding thing. I want to say match. Oh, I know what I can do. I can say key event code modifiers. Rust lets me do this, right? Match code. If it's A. Oh, if it's A or I guess you could say WASD. And self move cursor code. Anything else we ignore. We do need to return something though. Okay. False. False means we're not done. Like that. Oh, and now I messed up the bracing. Oh. No, that's, yeah. I could shift it over. Oh, I see. I'm missing this guy. And that's the match. That's the else, and that is that. Okay. Getting closer. Oh, put semicolons instead of commas. Oh, and then of course we need to ignore everything else. Or maybe we panic. Die. Invalid movement. Character. That's probably not going to work, right? What is this? Code. Oh, these are key codes. So how do I deconstruct the key code? Because otherwise I have to say key code char w. Can I put that in here? Oops. No, you can't do that. So I could do if let key code char code equals code. And this is U6, yeah, okay, so, right, because these types are all different. There. I'm missing a code colon. You mean that would have worked? Oh, I'm missing a code colon. Oh, key code char key. And doesn't like that. Oh, I'm missing the default case, which should be just okay, false. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Kafka. All right. This is kind of ugly to read, isn't it, though? But it's working. So let's see if this works. I mean, it's compiling. Let's see if it works. Cargo, run. SSSS, W doesn't work, DDD works, and S and A does not work. So this is subtraction is not working. I can move down to the right, I cannot move up into the left. Oops, I meant to do, I thought the saturating sub, oh, I have to assign it. Right? I thought it would subtract directly, but it looks like I have to reassign it. Yeah, and now if I try to go off the screen that way, it doesn't work, and if I try to go back this way, it doesn't work. Okay, or it doesn't crash. It doesn't panic. All right, that's good. Now you should be able to move the cursor around with those keys. I can. Okay, so Control Q, git commit -m, and that was step 45. Oh, I see. They got little names here. Let me add those names. Move cursor. Okay. Now that we have a way of mapping key presses to move the cursor, let's replace the WASD key with the arrow keys. Last chapter we saw that pressing an arrow key sends multiple bytes as input to our program. These bytes are in the form of escape sequence that starts with that and that. Yeah. But again, cross term saves us all of this pain. We can actually just put the code in here. Oh, I see. Look at that. They're just converting the arrow keys directly into those. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, what do we want to do with our Rust code? Because we want the arrow keys to work. And this is what this is doing is it's mapping the arrow keys into WSD and A. I mean, the other option is key event code, key code up or something like that. Let's take a look in here. Up. Key code up. Yeah. So we have up, down. We have left, right, up, and down. And then modifiers. And that could be self, move, cursor. And we just map it into W. Right? And we can do the same thing for the other ones. Right? This is getting really ugly to read though. Oh, yeah, and then of course they all have to be, you know what, I'm going to take this out. Oh, I can't. I guess, yeah. I guess we can do it this way. We'll just do that, get rid of that. And then after the match, we'll just say, okay, false. Which means also that we can do it this way. Just fall through here. But these have incompatible types still? What, oh, okay. I can just do this. Return. There. Okay, so now let's see if the arrow keys work. Cargo run. Down, right, left, and up. Yeah, so they all work. And I'm kind of doing the same thing, mapping the arrow keys into the letters. All right. So what step is that? Step 46. Let's see what Clippy has to say about all this. Oh, yeah, I can just ignore the modifiers. Oh, you can't do that. It says help try. Oh, you have to put. It would be nice if you could. There we go. Back down to 2 errors. Still not reading the cursor position. All right, so that was step 46, detect arrow keys. Okay. Step 47. Let's start by replacing each instance of the WASD characters with constants. Okay. One of the things is, okay, step 47 is here, but the reading of step 47 is here. We basically alias the arrow keys to WASD keys. This gets the arrow keys working immediately, but leaves the WASD keys still mapped to the move function. Kafka says, I think you can match on struct. Oh, with the 2 dots. Okay, let's try that. So like this. Yeah, I took it. It's a little cleaner. Thank you. Let's start by replacing each instance of WASD characters with the constants arrow up, arrow left, arrow down, and arrow right. Oh, I see. Now we're gonna map things into. Oh, okay. Okay. Is this what we want though? In the Rust version of this. Like enum, editor key, arrow left. You can do this in Rust, right? I know you can do it with numbers. I don't know if you can do it with characters. About to find out. Nope. Expected eye size found char. Okay, so you can't do that. I guess we don't need to set them to anything, right? They can just be themselves. They can just be enums on their own. And we could just map these things here. And then we'll have to modify our, the move cursor and whatnot. Maybe with repr char. I'm not familiar with that. Oh, I see. I see. Represent the. Yeah, okay. So you can actually tell Rust to represent characters as specific things. Okay. Let's see if that works. Unrecognized representation. That's a shame. Yeah, I guess you can't do it. Maybe U8 would work, and then then these all need to be U8s. But these are chars, which are what, U32s? That won't work, right? Oh, it does. Okay. I mean, that's awkward. Do we really? But the question is, do we really need these to be those exact values? All right, so now in move cursor, we're going to match on those things. Use editor key. And then we'll say arrow left, arrow right, arrow up, arrow down. And we shouldn't need this anymore because we're not getting it, and this would be editor key. And of course this fails here because we need to pass that in. Editor key up. And this is right. I mean, there's no real reason to translate this way, right? We can just use these key codes that come from crossterm. Oh, arrow. And then this can't be a key, right? Because now, oh, right. So this is where that comes in handy, right? Being able to translate this directly to the enum. I probably can't do this. Right? No, that won't work. Convert between, can only use to convert between primitive types. Okay. What this also means, though, is I can press Control W, and that would also mean up. Oh, this is interesting, because this is only 2 characters long. It fits on 1 line, but this is 4 characters. It has to move the dots to the next line. What's the best approach here? Do we want like a sort of a translation matrix where we have like in our editor we can just have a map from character to right? Oh, here's what I'm thinking is a key map, hash map, char to editor key. And then we can initialize that here. And then just insert the 4 keys that we need. And that way we can get rid of this. Right, and we can say key map insert. W is editor key up. W S is down, A is left, and D is right. And then WASD, we can say self move cursor self dot key map dot get of key unwrap. I might be cheating, but all right. Use I need to be able to set up my hotkeys so I can have that automatically import. Oh, editor key arrow. I keep forgetting the arrow, don't I? Go away. And then I missed it here. And this doesn't like this. Why not? Mismatch types. Oh, found ampersand editor key. Okay. There's no reason to ampersand it other than that. Hash map. And we still have an error. What's the error? Immutable borrow. Cannot borrow self. Oh, okay. So I just have to copy it out. Which means I can get rid of all those ampersands now. Right? No, we still have an error. Doesn't like that. Why did I do that? I have no idea. Oh. Derive, copy, clone. There's no reason not to. I don't know why copy clone aren't default for enums that would be nice. That would be a nice Rust feature, right? If the enums are just bare like this without structs or tuples, just have it default to have that. Now, what are the warnings here? There we go. Oh, this is one of those patterns that not supposed to be accepted. So 69, let's change this to star here and then take the star away from there, and that should fix that one. Yep, and then we still have cursor position, which I thought by now that we would use, but we're not using it yet. So I'm commenting that out so I can get rid of that last warning. Done. Okay, so now we should still be able to do everything we were able to do before. Cargo run. We have WASD. They all work, and we have the arrow keys, and they all work. So everything is exactly the same as it was before. Compiles with no observable effects. That's what they say there. Okay. All right, so this is step 47. Git add source, git commit, -m. Step 47. Arrow keys enum. All right. Now we just have to choose a representation for arrow keys that doesn't conflict with WASD and the iterative key enum. We give them a large integer value that's out of the range of char so they don't conflict with ordinary key presses. We also have to change all variables that store key presses to be of type int instead of char. All right, I'm not going to do that because this is, we essentially did that in this step, right? Just make these enums that don't map to any particular keys. I guess we're getting rid of the WASD part then, right? This concludes our arrow key handling code. At this point, it can be fun to try entering an escape sequence manually while the program runs. Try pressing escape, open bracket, and shift C in sequence really fast, and you may see your key presses being interpreted as a right arrow key being pressed. You have to be pretty fast about it to do it, so you may want to adjust V time and enable raw mode temporarily. Yeah, you have to type it all within 1/10 of a second, right? All right, prevent moving the cursor off the screen. Kafka says editor key as U32 works. Oh, yeah. So then we could take a U32 here. I'm gonna stick with it this way. So if ECX is not equal to 0, ECI, yeah, we could do that, or we could just stick with the saturating sub. And then we're going to check the screen calls. So screen has the screen calls, the width and the height. Do we want to have to reach into screen every time we move the cursor around? The question is, how much is editor going to need to know all this? Need to know the screen bounds? How often is it going to need to know that? I guess we can just return bounds. Cursor. Oh. Oops. So X is self width, and Y is self height. I don't know why I thought I could just grab the position that way. Okay, so now we have bounds. So I should be able to say let bounds equals self dot screen bounds. And then we could just say if self cursor x is less than bounds dot x. Right? And we can do that here. If self cursor y is less than bounds dot y. What'll happen? I'm going to not save this. Cargo run. And what happens if I try to go off the screen towards the bottom here? I should have started on a smaller screen. It's not letting me go down any further. Without that check, it's not letting me go down any further. And what happened? Oh, I can't go up now? Oh, interesting. It is, I'm hitting up, up, up. So it is going down off the screen. It's just that when we try to put the cursor there, it doesn't go further than that. And the same thing here. If I go here and go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, look at that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. comes back there. Okay, so we definitely don't have this. If I save this, oh, yeah, if I run this now, I should be able to go off this way, but then it should stop when it gets to the right. Oh, this is slow. I need a speedy cursor. Well, it goes to there. That's unfortunate that there's an extra. Maybe I need to do less than or equal to. This is saying not equal to screen rows minus 1. I'm going to put less than or equal to. That makes it look funny, right? With this less than or equal to here and then the equal greater there. It looks like some sort of Haskell thing. Okay. I think that will fix that. So that's step 49 off screen. Right? They do, but that's going to change, I believe. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. Git add source, git commit, -m, step 49, off screen. VMT says, hey, what happened to the lecture parser thingamabob? So the lecture parser thingamabob is still alive. In fact, I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I'm going to try to alternate days. I'm going to do... We're going to read over the garbage collection chapter tomorrow. And then there's nothing to implement in the Rust version because Rust does all this memory management for us. And then after that, I think is classes and instances. Yes, classes and instances is next. So we're going to skim GC tomorrow. That'll be the first part of the stream. And then the second part will be starting the classes and instances stuff. So I will be getting back to that. But I'm having fun with this, so I wanted to continue doing this. And I want to see, how far are we? Oh, we're almost done. Let's see if we can finish out this chapter. Page up and page down keys. To complete our low-level terminal code, we need to detect a few more special key presses that use escape sequences like the arrow keys did. We'll start with page up and page down. Okay, so here now we have different prefixes. Okay, so we add those. We're going to read those in here. We do have page up and page down right there. So we get those. So I'm going to skip this as a check-in step because we want to actually use them. Page up, down, simple. Let's make page up and page down do something. For now, we'll have them move the cursor to the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen. I don't actually know how to type page up and page down on my laptop keyboard. Oh, I guess it's function up and function down. Is my guess is what's happening there. Okay. So let's try those. Wow, time is minus, editor, move cursor, page up, arrow, page down. So this is for page up or page down. Oh, that's interesting. For now, we'll have them move the cursor to the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen. And the way I guess we're doing that is moving the cursor arrow up or arrow down one at a time for the number of rows we have. Why, though? We create a code block with that pair of braces so we're allowed to declare a times variable. We simulate the user pressing the up or down keys enough times to move to the top or bottom of the screen. Implementing page up and page down that way will make it a lot easier for us later when we implement scrolling. Oh. If you're on a laptop with a function key, you may be able to use function up and function down to simulate pressing page up and page down. Okay. I mean, I can do it. It seems a little awkward, but okay. So we want to do, I guess here, key event, code, Oh, now I can't do alternates, right? Key, code, page, up, comma, dot, dot. Or key, event, code, key, code, page, down, comma. I really should try to clean this code up so we don't have to do this mess. And then we're going to say let mut. Oh, we can just say for whatever in 0 dot dot. And we have to get the bounds. Zero dot dot bounds dot y. We're going to do a cursor up or a cursor down. It's a kind of straightforward way of doing it, though you could clamp the row number and move there. Yeah, I was thinking, well, if we're doing a page up, I was just thinking, well, just move the cursor to the top of the screen. But okay. Yeah, I haven't even thought about the fact that this is going to be scrolling text until they mentioned the scrolling part. So we want to do it. Yeah, so this is why I want to extract the data. I guess what we can do, let's try refactoring this here, right? If we move this and move this to the top, so this gets hit first, and then any other code, we should be able to do this, right? And then say match code, key, code, up, right? I hope this works. And then here we can say page up or page down. Oops. Right, and then still have access to code. Right, so now I can say editor self move cursor if code equals key code page up, then editor key arrow up, else editor key arrow down. This is very ugly, but will get reformatted shortly. There. How's that look? That looks terrible. Why can't I use code there? Oh, because I'm not using all the other ones. I got to ignore all the other ones. Okay. And now we have 4 warnings. We're not actually using them yet. Okay, we have to... Oh, I see. Yeah, we don't... We don't need them in here if we're not using them. Right? We're just translating them before we even get to move cursor into arrow up and arrow down. Twitch 111.1. Thank you for the follow. All right. What's the warning now? Unreachable pattern, line 76. That's this guy. Okay. Very good. All right, so we can see if that works. Right? Cargo run. And now if I say function down, zip, function up, zip, it happens so fast that we don't even see it. And actually what's happening is that we're queuing all the commands. So I'm sure behind the scenes something is going on in Crossterm that makes it go fast. But yeah, we're going up and down a full page. Now let's implement the home and end keys. Is this going to also be... So this is the decoder, which we don't need. What is this going to translate to? The home key is just going to set column to 0. And the end key is going to set the column to the end, the last column. Okay. And again, I don't think we need to add those to our editor key things, because we're going to just translate them directly from here. What are they called, though? It's just home and end. Okay. So let me put those here. Key code home. All right, so if we want to move the cursor, we want to say self screen. Should we just say home cursor? Or move to beginning? Right, and then for end, we say move to end. And that way we have separation of concerns here. Pub fun move to beginning. Self cursor x equals 0. And then move to end is going to be self width -1. What? Oh. Right, they're not in here. I'm losing it. So I guess we can say cursor.x equals self screen bounds x, and x becomes y, and x becomes y. Doesn't like that. Help use a comma. There we go. Okay, so home and end is probably the function left and function right. Yeah. Let's try that. Function right. Oops. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to do x both times. I really am losing it, aren't I? There we go. So function right, function left, right, left, right, left. Oh, I got to subtract 1. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. So that's step 53. Home and simple. Step 53, home and simple. Here we go. The delete key. Lastly, let's detect when the delete key is pressed. It simply sends the escape sequence, open bracket 3 tilde, so it's easy to add to our switch statement. Right. We have delete key. Here it is. Now, what's the difference between delete and backspace? Is there a separate backspace key? There is. So we might have to like OR those together there. Okay. Oh, that's it. We don't do anything with it. We just detect it. Okay, so I think we're done. We're done with this this chapter. Next chapter, we're going to get our program to display text files. Okay. Let's create a data type for storing a row of text in our editor. All right, so that's not going to be next stream. That's going to wrap this stream up anyway. Do we need this? Or can I refactor this out? This is kind of handy for this, I guess. but I'm thinking let's pull out the arrows just so Clippy doesn't complain. And if we need to change things up, we can change things up later. Right? Git add source. Git commit -m Clippy clean. Git push. All right, so that's this stream. Have you tried to put cargo Clippy in a git commit hook? I don't know how to make git commit hooks. Let's learn how to do that. Git commit hook. Git hooks. Pre-commit hook is run first before you even type in a commit message. So how do you set that up? Is that like in your .git/config or something? The hooks. All right, well, there's a few. So what goes in there? Cat git hooks commit message sample. This example catches duplicate signed off by lines. Okay. So do I have to write like a little shell script? Cargo Clippy git commit hook. Oh, no, this is a oh, here we go. Cargo format check. Cargo Clippy check. Okay, this looks like exactly what we want, right? If cargo doesn't format, there's code style issues. If cargo Clippy doesn't work, there's some Clippy issues. Cargo test. Oh, that's one thing I'm not doing here. Right? I don't have any tests, and I should be writing tests, but so let me grab this. What does E and U do? Oh man, bash. Set. I don't see what E and U do. Where's the set command? It's the worst command ever because you can't find it. Right? Everything's set. I'll have to look that up somehow. That's hard to search for. These are conditional expressions, so that's that part. All right. I'll look offline at what those do, but I can let's add this to our hooks. Do I just not make it a dot sample? Because I'm guessing the ones with dot sample are ignored, because otherwise everything would be run in here. Git hooks Clippy. Oh, let's call it Rust. Does it need a specific name format? Just pre-commit Rust. Okay. Let's do that. Now what I'll do is I'll make that change back. What I can do, yeah, let's make something something that doesn't need to be mutable. Right? There's two warnings now. If I say cargo Clippy, it should warn me about that. If I say git add source, git commit -m, testing Clippy thingy. Well, it didn't work. Oh, do I need to make it executable? Oh, Git really wants to have the exact file name to use as the hook, so be sure to name the file git hooks pre-commit exactly. And and remember to make it executable. Okay, see, I'm learning. Is that good? All right, so now how do I strip that off? How do I strip the top commit? I want to undo that one. Because this I should be able to remove without... Okay. Git remove last commit. Git reset head tilde. Git log. And then use commit dash dash no verify. Hamana says use dash dash no verify if you don't want to run the hook. All right, this is still here. Oh, could be clean. Right, okay, so let's make that change again. Let's see. Equals, oops. Oh, did it put it back, git status? Oh, it did. Oh, neat. Okay, so I removed the commit, but it put it back in my working. Neat. So now if I try to do it, will it work? Git add source, git commit, testing Clippy. Okay. All right, so it slows down the commit, right? Because it has to build everything. But this is good. There are some Clippy issues. There certainly are. So git checkout dot. All right, so I think we're good. Undo a commit. We don't do that here, says Lovely Mono. I always undo commits whenever I can. Git status. So we should be good. Oh, git diff. Git reset. Git status. Git checkout dot. Git status. Git log. Am I where I need to be? And I pushed this already, right? Yeah, okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, so yeah, that's the stream then. Okay, and then tomorrow we're going to look at garbage collection in the interpreter and then work on classes and instances. And then we'll get back to this the day after that, or the stream after that. I try to stream 5 days a week, but I have been doing 4 recently, unfortunately. So anyway, there we go. Thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. Togglebit's around if you want to go see Togglebit. I'm not going to raid because there's 5 of us here. So enjoy, and I will see you next stream. Take care, everyone.